Hello, children. It's John back with you for the weekly Big Idea devotional lesson. Today, our lesson comes from Acts chapter 12, and it is about how Peter escapes prison. So let me walk you through the pictures, and then I'll tell you all about them. So I'm going to bring you close again because there's a glare. So for picture number one, you're going to draw three faces just like this, and you can pause the screen if you need to at any time, and you draw question marks all around them. So these guys are a little confused, and that's why there's question marks. Here's why. It was time for an event called the Passover. This is usually a joyful time in Jerusalem, but for God's growing family, it was a scary time. There was a guy named Herod. He was a Roman ruler, and he had soldiers sent to arrest people. One of Jesus, especially people who followed Jesus. Everyone in God's family was really sad and confused, hence the picture. And they were wondering what cruel ruler would do such a thing. Why is he doing these things? Our next picture is Peter. So I'm going to bring you back over here. And so what you do here is you draw the letter P for Peter, and then you give him some eyes, a nose, and a mouth. You use the number 3 to give him hair, okay? And then you're drawing lines all around to show that he is in jail. Okay, I bet you guys know where this is going. It wasn't long before Herod did something else to make them afraid. He sent soldiers to arrest Peter, one of Jesus' best friends. Herod had put Peter into prison. So Herod was planning to keep him there until after the Passover holiday was over. Then Herod planned to accuse him of some wrong things to put him on trial because Herod wanted to actually kill Peter. So it's really, really sad time. Our third picture, you draw, it looks like a light bulb, but you draw a face and they're smiling. And this is actually, it looks like hands praying like this. That's what it's supposed to look like. So you can draw a line down the middle and then 3 upside down U's, okay? Little shape, so it looks like someone is praying. So Peter's friends knew that Peter might be killed. So here's what they did. They prayed. They prayed and asked God for help. They met at the house of a woman named Mary, and they prayed and prayed with all their strength, asking God to protect Peter and to help them. The next picture, you're going to draw the moon. So you draw like the letter C. And if you don't know how to draw a star, all you do is you do this. You do like a triangle like this, okay? And then you go this way and then across and back down. And that's how you can draw a star. That's your very expertise drawer here, or artiste. Can you tell I don't know what I'm doing with drawing? So here's what's going on. The night before Herod was going to have Peter killed, God sent an angel to Peter's prison cell. And the angel said, "Quick, get up." And the chains around Peter's arms, they just fell off. And then Peter and the angel walked right past the guards. So here's the next picture. So what you're going to do here is you're going to draw a gate from the letter U. So you do a big U like this, and then you add the other details around. So you draw the letter U, and then you draw a line down the middle, and then you draw, it looks like a shark fin, right? And then you're going to draw stick figures, and you're going to use the letter Z for their legs because it looks like they're running out. They're getting out of there, okay? And here's what's going on here. When Peter and the angel got to the huge iron gate leading to the city, the gate opened as if an invisible hand was pushing it. Peter followed the angel to the end of the street, and the angel simply disappeared. Can you imagine? That would be crazy. Number 6, you're going to draw the letter U again, and you're going to draw a hand in the middle of it with lines because it looks like they're knocking. And then you draw lines down this picture to show that they're knocking on the door, okay? Peter hurried to this house where his friends were praying. He knocked on the door, and a servant girl called out, "Who's there?" "Peter," he answered. She was so overjoyed that she ran to the room full of praying people without even opening the door. "Peter's at the door. Peter's here." "What?" they asked. "You must be crazy. Peter's in jail. He can't be at the door." Well, the next picture, you're drawing 2 faces, and one is happy and one is really surprised, okay? So Peter kept knocking on the door. And when they finally opened it, Peter's friends were amazed to see him. Okay. And then our last picture, you're going to do 3 words. You draw the word answer down the middle, and then you add prayer around the A, and then you add surprise to the S. Okay. So God heard your prayers for me, Peter said. God rescued me. God sent an angel in answer to your prayers. Everyone was very glad that Peter was safe. They knew now that God had heard them, had answered their prayers. And so they prayed again to thank God for sending Peter safely back to them. So remember, where was Peter at the beginning of our story? And what did his friends do? And how did God answer their prayers? So Peter was in prison. His friends prayed, and God answered their prayers, and they set Peter free. Sometimes when we pray, we think God doesn't hear us because maybe he doesn't answer our prayer right away. But we can know from this story that God answers our prayer. He might not always answer it the way we want, but we know that God hears our prayers. And when we pray, God changes us. Even if the outcome doesn't change, God changes us and can change our hearts. So I hope that you learned something from this week. Make sure you send me pictures of your drawings, and I will see you next week.